Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back to the third iteration of the KWT Experience. This episode, why did it say episode 3? MMOs. Update information.
Yeah, it does. It says 3 MMOs.
Okay. On my screen it was showing that it didn't. So let me repeat that. Hello and welcome to the third iteration of the KWT Experience. It's great to have you here. We are having some technical difficulties. We will be on screen shortly, but this week we will be talking about MMOs, and those MMOs are World of Warcraft, Bless Unleashed, Rift, Terra, Neverwinter, War Thunder, Crossout, Black Desert Online, and Scarlet Blade. Give us just a few minutes here to get everything situated, and we will be right with you. Thank you for your patience. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with my co-host Dragon's Reign, aka Travis C. 1975, and Intercity Witty, and here we are. And Witty, what is the first game you're going to be talking about today?
Give me just a moment. Why is it not?
And why are the overlays suddenly not aligned? Like, I spent all the time. I spent like you guys literally don't know. Like, I spent like 5 minutes pre-stream fixing this crap, and then it changed.
I know. I've
adjusts.
seen it. I see it.
Have to fix that crap all the time.
There we go. Now it's set up. Looks fine to me.
It wasn't. It was off a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he fixed it.
Oh, I gotta post in the Discords. Whoops.
Yeah.
My mistake.
It looks like you already have Bless all set up.
Yeah, I have Bless up right now.
Put in the second clip, not the first one.
It is the second clip.
Okay. So I need to remember also what I had to do in that game, because let's just say they could have done a whole lot better job of everything on that game, in my opinion.
Oh, let me start the clip.
Yeah.
And mute it, because for some reason it unmuted itself.
You should tell, because how sluggish the game even just looks by watching it. It seems sluggish, even just the movements around. Actually, a little bit fast forwarded that on there.
Can I do playback speed times 2? Speed, let's go 1.5. Well,
I forgot when the actual combat started.
go ahead and tell us about the game and any information you picked up on it and things like that.
Well, if I actually ever had more time to play, I can actually tell you more about it. But the way it seems, it's still, in my opinion, it's still a work in progress.
Just a moment here. Righteous Dave, thank you for the host. Continue.
Hmm. Besides being a work in progress, everything seems sluggish. Combat seems sluggish. Everything is based on combination of buttons for it to work, for attacks to work properly. You know, like almost like the first Fable game.
I see.
I'm not sure if you actually played that or not.
No, I have never. I have never. So. All right. Let's.
But
skip
later,
ahead and get some-
a little bit later in the clip, about halfway through, so it'll actually show you more about the how the combat is there.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of talking to NPCs in the beginning, huh?
Yeah, there is.
At least this Demea is pretty. That's always a plus, right?
Yeah,
Pretty characters.
They have
always.
they could have been a lot better with the character creation, giving you more combination races and classes to choose from, and just you have to be this to be this type of thing.
Ah.
The only certain races can be this class only type of thing is how they had it here set up. That's one thing I actually did not like about it. Here's where the combat actually starts.
Doesn't seem to be too terrible. Maybe a little confusing.
Yeah, if you actually watch how the I try to pin the camera around, you can see how kind of slow it is when he turns around.
And this is at 1.5 times speed. You got to remember that. So everything is sped up. It does seem a little bit slow though, even for 1.5 times speed.
I like that it's got dragons in it.
Almost every RPG game has dragons in it. It
I've
seems
noticed that. Yeah.
But actually, even after playing it, I still don't have a whole lot to say about it. As in good things, there's a lot of things that can be changed to make it a lot better than how it is.
I think, judging by the look of it, the one of the things that it suffers from is being on console. Because I have played an MMO that is on console as well as PC, and it is more laborious on console because you have to hit combinations of buttons to do things
Yeah.
instead of just one touch and a skill activates. You have to hold down right bumper. Stupid camera focus. Right bumper, right bumper or R1 and hit like X, square, triangle, or depending on which console you play on. So
That is pretty much true.
Your final thoughts on Bless Unleashed?
It can definitely be a lot better. There's still a lot of room for improvement. Even on console, it has been other games that are a lot more responsive and easier to play than this one.
All right.
I think it's pretty cool though. I mean, it looks good. It
All right.
doesn't have. I don't know the way that it runs. It looks like it runs pretty good. If it's is it for PC and console?
I did
Just
look it up,
console
and it
only.
is console only. Yeah.
Console. Oh, that's mine, Tada.
Yeah, I know. What game are you going to talk about first, Travis?
My first game is going to be Terra.
Perfect. Let's
All right. Well, you guys, to me, Terra has been. It was really. I liked it. It was a really good game. It works good.
Actually, you know what? Let's go
Um,
2 times speed for you. Sorry.
yeah, I was trying to do. I wanted to do Terra on the PC, but most of the things I couldn't do on the PC. No, wait a minute, that was Neverwinter. Neverwinter, I tried to do on PC. Um, for Terra itself, I thought it was really good on console. Um, but what it is Terra, formerly known as the exiled realm of Arbor. It's a free to play action based multiplayer online game. You know, it's the MMORPG. It was developed by Bluehole Studios and published by Massey Entertainment in North America and
I didn't know she was eating.
Gameforge in Europe. Also, oh, also South Korea a year before it even came to the US. Which I didn't understand is that because uh, it took them a year for it to even come to Europe or the America.
Might I?
So the release date. Go ahead.
The main reason for the year transition between Japanese type MMORPGs being transferred to the US is because of translation and things like that. The English language is very complex, and those languages are more direct. So,
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
and when they
I
release a
got you.
game, when they release a game to the US, they translate the entirety of the game, including the voice acting and things like that. So it's a
Yeah.
process that takes many moons.
Okay. Um. Let's see. The release date was January 25th, 2011, in South Korea. In um, in North America on May 1st, 2012. In Europe, it was May 3rd, 2012. So it was only released a day difference from North America and Europe. Since 2011, the game has had two expansions: Rise and Fate of Arin. Oh, well, I think it was called Arin, or was it Aaron?
Ah,
I
either
said
way.
Aaron before because I think it was Aaron. Massey released a New Awakening update on Xbox One and PS4 on June 30th, 2020 as
Don't you
well.
attack my cord.
So in September 2014, the game was renamed to Terra Fate of Aaron in the same patch that added a new level cap and expanded. Terra Horizon was a new content. Wait a minute. Oh, I almost lost some space. Okay, Terra Horizon with new content in North Erin. North Erin is a land of savage jungles. The patch came to America and Europe on December 2014. Now, this is pretty awesome here. It says the game has over 26 million players on PC as of May 2017 and 2 million players on consoles as of May 2018. So, my thoughts on Terra, it was, I just did pretty much, just a little bit of the playthrough. I thought it was awesome. I love that the characters are they move really good, and it doesn't have hardly any stuttering to it. Um, that is on console, and I'm pretty sure it probably has better graphics and everything if it was on the PC. And it's according to what kind of um, processors and everything that you have for a PC. I didn't get very far in it. I want to go back to it as well, though. Now, I did get to where you go on through everything in the first part. And as of what I've seen, like I said, it's really good. I love the animation of it and everything.
I will say that I
Yeah,
did try and download the game on PC, and I had issues trying to play it through Steam, to the point where
yeah.
I've had my issues with other games, Smite being one of them, where it just won't let me play it. So instead of fighting with it, I just uninstalled it. So I never got the chance to experience it. But I want to experience it. I want to play it some because it looks like an incredible game. Any thoughts, Woody?
I think it is.
Not at the moment. I've had no experience on playing the game at all until recently. I've actually never heard of the game before.
Would you be interested in playing the game, or are you just going to steer clear of this one?
No, I would have to look more into it.
And as I will say this was actually my first ever time playing truly MMO games. So to me, as in being first time MMO player, I think the game was pretty good. Yeah, most of the games that I play in this segment, I thought was pretty good.
All right, now we are going to talk about a game that I'm going to leave Terra up because we're going to talk about a game next that doesn't have footage. And this game is not going to take me long to talk about. There's not much to say about it, but it is Scarlet Blade. There's a piece of hair, like mustache hair or something, that randomly got in my mouth. I am sorry about that. The camera seems to not want to focus again. Or is it just my bad camera? Okay. So Scarlet Blade is the name of the game in Europe and America, where it's called Queen's Blade in Asia, and it's actually a manga series in Asia, and it's a sci-fi fantasy adult MMORPG. Now they call it an adult MMORPG, but had spent hours in this game. Like I was max level on like 4 different characters. That's how much I actually enjoyed playing this game. Um, and I never found anything that wasn't too explicit. Like, yes, the women wore sexy clothing, and there were no male characters for the longest time, but there wasn't really. Hey, why are Buffalo Wild Wings? Okay, we're watching Buffalo Wild Wings ad, I guess. There was no like talk of adult activities. There was no adult activities that you could do. It was a standard MMO, except they wore mostly provocative clothing, we'll say. I'm trying to choose my words carefully to censor myself, so
David's hungry now.
I'm hungry now too, and I haven't had Buffalo Wild Wings in years.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a Korean developer released in Asia in 2012, and it was localized to America by Area Games, which is where the software I played it through, and released in the West in March of 2013. Unfortunately, the game closed 3 of 2016, I guess March of 2016. due to economical and technical issues. Now, at the time when the game closed, I did some research and it stated that the game closed due to lack of players. So, I don't know exactly the reason behind the closing, but I am very sad that this game is gone. I really enjoyed it, and I would have loved to return to it at any point in time. And I did take this game on knowing it was closed and knowing that there was nothing, no footage I could really get of it. But, well, I just wanted an example of a game that it was a good game, and there was there was a lot of different classes you could be. They all had their own specific roles. There wasn't a lot of different classes. Okay, there was a few. My two favorites were a riflewoman, which was basically a mid to long range sniper, and a defender who wielded a big sword and was up in your face. And they had really cool abilities and really cool combinations you could do with the abilities. One, I threw my sword at an enemy, and then I would dash. And then there was a skill where I dashed to the enemy, and I would hit them. And then I would start using all my melee abilities. That was a combo I used. There was a lot of other stuff that you could do that I never got into. There was other classes there was a healer class, obviously. There was a massive AoE class that was really broken according to some people. I never played that class. It was a lot of fun, and I really was upset when it closed. I wish they had. Am I crooked or is the camera crooked? It feels so weird. It's throwing me off. Like as I said, I apologize, but I wish the game had never shut down because it was a good game, and I think they could have only gone up from where they were at the time. But that's it for me on Scarlet Blade. Witty, Travis. Travis, I know you haven't played it, but Witty, had you ever played Scarlet Blade, and do you two have any thoughts on it?
Never heard of it until now.
Wow. I hate that they got rid of something like that and it's weird that you can't even find it anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably like old patches somewhere where you could find like the last patch and play solo, or there's probably some dedicated server somewhere if you do a bit of digging. I didn't want to do that because then you run the risk of hackers and things like that more when you play on, dedicated servers of a dead game.
Right. Well, I think the way it sounds that you played the game, it seems like it would have been a really good game to play.
It was. I liked. Baby, I love you. I like the differences in the classes and that they each felt unique and they all had their own role. Even though there wasn't very many of them, they all had a very specific role to fill. And they later did add a male character, and I never got the chance to play the male character, but I assume he had his own role as well.
Okay.
All right, so that is it for. What are we talking about? Scarlet. I'm kidding. Scarlet Blade. Witty, what game are you going to talk about next? World of Warcraft or Rift?
Go ahead and put Rift up, actually.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and turn the Rift on and put it at 1.5 speed.
You won't have to. The video's not very long.
Oh, well, yeah, go ahead and start talking.
Well, I can actually tell they actually have two different factions right there. I can't really see the video part very
Defiance
much well
and
here.
Guardians.
Yeah. Pretty much the Defiance is like the rebel cause, pretty much, and the Guardians are like the peacekeepers. Each side actually has their own 3 races. the Guardians have humans, elves, and dwarfs. I forget what the Defiance has.
It looks
That's
like
it.
dwarf, human, and elf.
Yeah, that's the Guardian side.
Oh. And
I go through.
Which one did you play?
I go through each side to actually display which what each side has.
Elf, Kalari, and stop loading. Damn you. And Bommy. Okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is, after the trying to decide of each race, they actually give you a choice of, well, if you don't have the actual upgrade of the game, you only get a choice of 4 different classes that you can choose from. But each class has 3 3 different ways that you can actually you can play that class. Shockingly, thing is, warriors or fighters can also heal in this game.
Oh. Well, that's pretty
Which
good.
is different. I think the video froze.
It did. Darn it! Stop breaking.
No.
Let me get back to full screen so I should see the video more. It's funny how the Bernard is actually the bigger race, almost like the giant folk, as you can tell. The cool thing is for the character customization, you can actually choose how big or small that character is.
That's interesting.
See right here, even it shows the actually. You can go ahead and pause it right there real quick.
Bloop. Pause.
See
Pause.
they have.
Stop playing. I paused you. It's broken.
Yeah, they have warrior, cleric, mage, and rogue right now. The funny thing is, even the cleric can tank. The rogue can tank, which is different from a lot of games. Mage can heal. The cleric normally can heal, which is actually. But what I don't get most of all is how can a rogue tank?
I think that's an interesting aspect to have other classes able to perform a role. That way, you don't have to find the perfect team up. You can run with all rogues if you wanted to. You know, one
But
rogue
rogues can't heal though.
Well, you could run with like all rogues and a cleric, or all rogues and a wizard, and it's borked. It is being rude to me, and I don't know why. Let me check to make sure I'm not downloading anything.
It's not.
They even have once you actually pick the class, it'll give you a choice of what type of role you want to play through that class. On this here, I chose the rogue part, and on the rogue, they actually had a ventrilo, which is another version of a bard.
Interesting.
In a bard, you instead of just using like regular weapons, you can actually use a magical instrument to dish out the damage or support.
Hmm.
That part almost reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons, pretty much.
That is awesome. I love people that use instruments as weapons, and
I think you might want to fast forward a little bit through this part here, if you can.
well, it's a cutscene. Let's watch the cutscene. I want to see how good their cutscenes look. Looks like they're kind of subpar, but on par with their character models and everything.
That's what they tried to do.
Oh, look at the big dragon in the back.
We all saw the big dragon. Travis, it's okay.
So apparently, it is mostly like what you're saying that when most MMO games must have dragons in it. Hmm.
That wasn't too long. What are you looking
Let's
for?
see. Shouldn't be very long after I started here for the show.
Sin is looking for a poker. Oh,
She
she's
found
looking
it.
for her pen.
Right now, I'm just looking through the main character screen for. Go ahead. Hey, ta-da. Go
Yeah.
ahead and pause it real quick.
Okay, hang on. And paused.
Actually, the first class, each class has their own 3 different ways of passing you can choose from. But they even have presets that you can follow on how you, on like you want to call
Your skills?
yeah, they have presets that you can follow of certain classes that are pre-made that you can try, or you can just do your own.
That is interesting. That is something that a lot of MMOs don't have.
When this game first came out, a lot of people actually called it the WoW killer.
Really? I wonder why.
Because the beta test, people were actually were thinking that this game may actually outdo WoW. But funny thing is, the same thing was actually said for ESO as well.
I don't think WoW will ever die. Unfortunately. I mean, you know, no, I'm kidding. Thankfully there are games like WoW that keep people's attention for years.
Yeah. Funny thing is, people actually still play Rift, and they still do updates. For free updates for the game to keep on the progression in the story for the game. And right now, as far as I know, there's still over 1 million players that play Rift.
That is quite a lot.
But I still like playing it here and there because how spread out the game can be and how much you can do for your character in the game. I think at one point I actually had like a level 34 major one point. This was like years ago.
In Rift?
Yeah. I forget what the match level is for the game. But even if you do go for like the rogue part, you can choose to be a hunter or rogue, or you actually have an animal companion to actually help you out, like a regular hunter in Warcraft.
It seems a lot faster than Bless.
It is.
I love you, bud.
And a lot smoother.
They even have add-ons like add-ons and stuff like that to help you improve in the game for like healing and things like that. I actually have more information on it here. In just a moment.
And it froze again. Stupid.
I know it keeps wanting to.
Yeah,
freeze.
see the Guardians, and they find the Guardians. Purists follow the religion of the Vigil, the supreme gods of Teleri, which is the area of the game. Dwarves. They're I said the Guardians were resurrected by Vigil after they died at the hands of Regulus, which is a DM demon, during the return. This is begin to rift. Defiance are those who for cultural, historic, and personal reasons do not follow the religion of Vigil, but put their trust in science and technology as a way to conquer forces of Regulus, which is like mentioned before the demons. So it's pretty much religion-based versus scientific technology-based for each side.
So it's modern life, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or all of human history, if you think about it.
But they do have 5-man dungeons like Warcraft does, and they also do have as well the big like 10 50-man raids too. look pretty much like WoW.
And Buffalo Wild Wings comes in with another commercial, making me want some honey barbecue wings.
It was developed in 2006 and was released in 2011. So it took 5 years to make it.
Wow, that's... Hey, that shows that they did their work, right? If it took them 5 years to make it, it shows that they did their job and made sure the game was at a workable, good, relatively decent level before releasing it.
Yeah, and they actually had this Trian, the world CEO, Lars Butler, stated that he actually for Rift had an initial budget of $50 million to make the game.
I wonder how much of that they went through. And how much more they had to ask for.
When the game first came out, the max level cap was 20. 2012 they moved it. November 2012 they moved it to cap level 60.
That's a substantial jump in
Cap level 6.
level.
Yeah. 2016 they raised it to 70.
Wow.
So far, it looks like the last update they actually expansion update was 2017.
To still have 1 million players and not have an expansion update in 2 years, it must be a pretty good game.
Yeah, that's good.
And unlike WoW, you can actually have all the professions that you can use instead of just picking two.
Very interesting.
You do like wood gathering for helping with weapons, and also mining, herbalism, things like that. You can have all three of those at once.
Seems like a very solid game.
And it is free to play.
It is free to play.
Yes, I did
okay.
try playing it before, but I didn't like how... I personally had a disagreement with the movement and looking, so I chose to not play it. I do still have it on my computer, though, but I just haven't played it.
Yeah.
Is it like open world?
It is open world.
Okay.
I wonder what Sin was mean about not stop messing with the labels.
She was yelling at me.
Oh.
I was playing with the label on my bottle. Because if my hands aren't doing something, I tend to freak out, so I was...
Hey, Sin, go ahead and smack them for me, will you?
Any final thoughts on the game? Do you want to play it again? Will you never touch it again?
No, I still play on and off. It's a good game, but not good enough to be addicting, in my opinion.
How about you, Travis? Any thoughts on the game?
It looks like it's pretty good.
I didn't do anything to him to get smacked for.
But like you guys know, to me, I'm not really into too many MMO games. But pretty good.
All right, and personally,
Yeah, but
is this the one I'm on? Yes. Personally, I don't think I'll play it because, well, I don't like the movement and the. I don't like how you look. Hi, Brian. Good to see you. You're not too late. You're only missing the first 3 and the fourth one, so not too bad. Oh,
and we have 9.
It's wait,
so.
yeah. So, Travis, what game are you going to tell us about next? Neverwinter or?
My next one will be War Thunder.
All right, I want to take a moment here and just talk about what we consider MMOs. because I believe you and I both agreed that we don't really consider the next two games on the docket to be MMOs.
No. Yeah, I don't consider it as being an. And I think even the publishers themselves say that it's not.
The weird thing is, I found the same thing about my next game, is that while the publishers didn't call it an MMO, platforms like Steam did.
Right.
Steam considers both of the next two games, War Thunder and the one I'm going to talk about, MMOs. And while you do play online with other people, and there are a lot of other people online at the same time as you, I don't really consider them MMOs because you're not running around in a world with a bunch of other people. They're both team based combat games. And I think that's what they should be labeled as across all platforms, including, like Steam, any launcher. I swear to God, my camera is crooked. I'm gonna.
It's not crooked. It's the angle of the camera's at towards you.
Ugh.
Yeah, because mine looks like my.
We're losing you. Come on, Travis.
I
It's a
hope-
computer.
Oh no!
All right, go.
Come on, baby.
Go ahead.
Don't mess up on me.
Go ahead and tell us about War Thunder, Travis.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. What the? This game is a very, very good game. I love War Thunder. A lot of people play War Thunder. Brian and also Dauntless Boy that are in chat plays it. But let's go here for what it says. It says War Thunder is a vehicular combat multi game. Pretty much, it's a vehicle combat multiplayer game. It was published by the Moscow video game developer, which this doesn't sound like a Moscow kind of person. Gaijin. It's made by Gaijin Entertainment in 2011.
Quick jump in.
It was first released.
According to Tokyo Drift, Gaijin means white man, like outsider. According to Tokyo Drift.
Well, the way.
Yeah, according
Yeah,
to
the way. Yeah, but the way that it says is spelled as Gaijin.
Yeah, so
Gaijin?
it would be
Gaijin?
Gaijin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Gaijin. Yeah, Gaijin. It's just weird that their name
So,
is it means outsider.
Yeah, but in Moscow it must mean something.
Maybe.
It was. Yeah, true. It was first released in November 2012 as an open beta and went worldwide in January 2013. The official release date was December 21st, 2016. It had just went cross-platform. Now this is what gets me. It had just went cross-platform on June 19, 2020. So, 19th of last month, it was just when it first became cross-platform.
I'm being assaulted.
It was developed as a flying. Now this is what gets me here. This is really what gets me. It was developed as a flying simulator game. And the name was going to be called World of Plane. But due to its similarities with wargaming, World of Warplanes, it had to change their name to the present name in 2020. Gaijin claimed that after the game was announced that it was a April Fool's joke before actually confirming it. In June, that same year, that same year slash, which would mean in the same part of the year, he continued a yearly tradition, which actually when he made this tradition is because he said it was an April Fool's joke, but it actually came out that year.
That
So
is my
whenever he
toe.
done the kitty
I'm sorry, I had a kitten attacking me.
tradition, no, I know that's what I was saying. I wasn't talking about you, kitty. I was talking about the kitty. So what he did, he prepared unconditionally events, unconventionally
Unconventional.
unconventional events for April Fool's Day. So when it became April Fool's Day, he made sure that there was like different, things in April Fool's Day. It won. Now this is what got me too. It won a lot of awards. Its release, winning Best Simulation Game at Gamescom 2013. Um, Winning Best Simulation Game at Gamescom in 2013 awards as well as the best game, best developer, best technology, and best sound at the KR in 2013. It holds world records. The game itself holds 2 Guinness World Records as having the most planes in a flight simulator game and the most played online on one flight simulator server. As of 2019, it's among the most played games on Steam with over 25 million concurrent players. So the game is awesome. But like you say, Tada, me myself, I don't consider this as a MMO, even though they say it is. But I just myself, it's like what, right? I think it was in one part. I think it's in the later part. I killed like 6 tanks, like right off the bat. It was pretty good. I got killed a lot. I love the game. I'm trying to wait until I get a few more games taken off of my PlayStation so I can put it back on so me and Brian and you guys maybe can want to play it. It's really fun. Um, as you see right there, I kept messing up. I kept hitting the wrong button and making me go to a certain thing for it.
I think it's interesting.
I got stuck quite a bit of times.
I think it's very impressive that it has 25 million players.
Seriously. And also, I think I don't know, it might be later on. I don't know if you got the other part of of this.
Let's jump forward to about halfway through.
Yeah.
Cat, you make my arm tired.
Okay, go a little further.
Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings.
I just want to show the part that I just want to show the part that I
Hey,
thought was
B-dubs.
really pretty cool.
Can we get a sponsorship? I used to work there. Kind of get off my hair. Rockstar.
You look more ads.
I know.
We need a Buffalo Wild
Oh
Wings
my
sponsorship.
gosh, with the ads.
Let's go to about here.
Why does it keep doing that?
I don't know why it keeps playing ads.
We don't get paid for the ads.
We do, but very little.
No, not this. These ads.
Yes, we do.
We don't get paid nothing.
We
for
do
it.
actually.
For the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, we do. We will actually get a few cents for watching these ads on your. Well, you and Witty will. I will not because I am logged in on my Twitch. So.
Oh, and I love the fact if it shows. And I think it showed it before. It's simulation of where you hit. You could be like really far away and hit somebody, and it shows the
Smush.
see how right there up in the corner whenever you shoot one of the tanks. A good simulate. Oh, that's how I just got you.
Yeah, it's
It definitely gives you a good
it
simulation.
gives you
of
the
what you-
X-ray like Sniper Elite does. Shows you what you've hit on the person and the kind of damage you've done. But on a tank.
Right. I don't know if you actually got the other part.
What other part?
The sec. I played it for
An hour?
The one where it goes into. It might
Let's jump
have.
to 3/4 of the way through. A little bit farther.
To where, I think it might be closer to your end.
The one
To
thing.
where I actually.
What did Dauntless Boy say? The one thing that sucks. You can change one. You can get one shot. Yeah. Oh, there's you doing research.
Hmm. Yeah.
Upgrading your tank, I believe.
Ah, I don't know if you got it.
I have the whole.
It might be closer to the end.
We are very close to the end.
Because I played. Whenever we were playing in the. I'm wanting it to go to the game at the.
Nope, I must not have gotten it.
Ah, darn it. But it's okay. Yeah, Dauntless. The one thing is bad that you can get one-shotted. Yes, easily can get one-shotted at that. But it's okay. It's okay because what I was going to say is that in the other part of the stream, when we went in, it was in a town, or it was like in a town or whatever. but I had killed like six tanks, 6 to 8 tanks in just one spot because they just kept coming through the same spot. It seemed like there was like 5 or 6 tanks that came into that one area, and we were just tearing them up. But other than that, I give this
Sorry, rare appearance of sin.
a good 7 to 8. To a good 7 to 8 on the scale of funness. And I also say again, I consider this not as being a MMO.
So your final thoughts is a 7.5 out of 10. Witty, what are your thoughts on War Thunder?
7.5, almost 8.
I tried playing it once before I started playing Elite Dangerous, but for some reason on War Thunder I actually had a lot harder time trying to control the planes and what I wanted them to do. I kind of wonder if it's how the games were made.
That is very true because the planes to me are harder than the tanks. Although the tank can be, you can flip your controls and everything with you can flip your controls with all of it, but it is a lot harder, I think, with the planes than it is with the tanks.
Yeah. My opinion, maybe a little bit more simplicity would make it a bit more easier to play for me, in my opinion.
I would think so.
I think it's a decent looking game, and I have played it before, I believe. I got to get my hands back on it and play it some more. I played World of Tanks and World of Warplanes and had a lot of fun. So having all 3 World of games in one would be really nice, because I do believe they have ships in that game as well. If not,
yes.
If they don't, still having the tanks and planes in one game would be really nice. But it's something
they actually do. They actually do have tanks. They got planes, and they do have ships.
So yes, having all 3
in that
all
game.
3 in one would be very nice and very, very interesting. And I think it'd be a fun game to play, especially with some friends all on the same team. You could work together to achieve the objective.
I would like I know that, well, if you guys could get it, I would like for us to play World of War Thunder together, because it is cross-platform now. I wouldn't have to use my PC. I could use my PlayStation.
And that is definitely something.
I think you guys, if you really got into it, I think you would like it.
That is something we could definitely plan for, and something that will more than likely happen in the future, as long as Woody is on board to try it.
Again.
Yep.
All right, next up is Crossout, and I want to point out that we do not consider Crossout to be an MMO, but Steam does, so it's on the list because I've played it before and I loved it and I wanted to talk about it. And I'm trying to get to some video footage of it. I don't know how long I sat on the starting screen that day. I must have been having technical difficulties.
You were. That's when my power supply blew.
Oh, that is the day my power supply blew.
Yeah.
Crossout, the game that killed my power supply. And the reason our podcast is a week late.
2 weeks late.
2 weeks late.
No, our podcast is only a week late. Oh wait, this is the wrong game. That's Neverwinter. I said pause. You pause now.
Wow. Yeah, that's Neverwinter. Get rid of that. That's not
I, I,
ready for
I
that
have to
yet.
say the cinematics for Neverwinter is really good because they actually have a backing of a huge company to do it.
Here we are. So, Crossout is a vehicular combat game.
Post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic vehicular combat game. Kind of along the lines of think Mad Max, but you get to build your own car. It's a lot of fun. The dev is Targum Games. The publisher is Gaijin Entertainment, and it is actually on all platforms. It is not cross-platform, unfortunately, as far as my research showed. But the closed beta started on the 15th of April in 2016, and the open beta, when I started playing, started on the 30th of May 2017. And this is one of those games that is still in beta, I believe. But it is fantastic. I mean, there's so much you can do. Here I'm just screwing around shooting dummies, basically. But you see, this is a fragment of what PvP is like. As you can see, I get utterly annihilated by this guy because his build was far better than mine. But it is just what it sounds like. It is a vehicular combat game along the lines of like Twisted Metal, but you build your own car. And
Nice.
I find it very enjoyable to play. I am actually like level 18, I believe. And there's so much customization you can do with building your own car. There's different modes you can play. There's PvP, where it's like a TDM, like in Call of Duty, but no respawns, and you could see so many different kinds of cars. There's jet engines, there's boosters, there's things that launch you into the air. It's insane how much different stuff there actually is in the game. One.
If I,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I actually seen a video at one point for this game where someone actually had a hovercraft vehicle with jets, powerful jets in the back with a grappling hook to it. We actually grapple someone behind him, turn the jets on. He flipped over, so the guy in the grappling hook just flipped around and slammed right into the ground.
That's funny, and I believe that would be possible.
Man, that's cool.
I believe coming up here in the scene, I run there's sort of raids that you can do where you go after a big, deadly behemoth of a truck. Think of Death Race, the first one where they had that big semi, just like that.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
There's 4 of you, and you are all trying to take down the truck, and you respawn if you get blown up. Here, I'm in a kind of tower defense mode. Like I said, there's a lot of different modes to the game. There's a lot you can do with it, and it's one of those games that is a great game, no matter how you slice it. And they can really only go up by adding more modes, more stuff to put on your car, more parts that you could fit on a car at one time.
I believe they now have like a PvE mode where you against bots too.
Yes, they do have PvE. This is a PvE mode. It's a tower defense against bots. As you can see, I'm in a more of a faster buggy, and I'm running circles around them until I hit a wall, and then I get blown up. But
none. Was there or was there not a game that Meatwagon had played kind of like this?
Mad Max was similar. The Mad Max game, you could kind of build your own car.
That might be what that might be the game that he plays. It seems kind of familiar to the same as this.
Whereas Mad Max is story based, this is all combat. This is
Just
you're
having
you're
Yeah.
spending your time shooting other cars, driving around, yeah, having fun. You're not focusing on the story or not sometimes not even too much objectives. Sometimes you're just in a TDM and you're trying to blow up the other cars.
Oh, okay. Hey, Brittany.
Howdy, Brittany. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to have you. But my final thoughts. It's like I said, it's one of those games that's it's just a lot of fun to play, and I could spend many more hours playing it. Do you guys have any thoughts on it?
And to me, it looks fun.
I think it's been
I
almost
think it looks fun.
like 400 hours in this game one time when it was a couple years ago. Now, I still have my account where I've actually built almost like tank type of vehicles, and one of them actually had mini guns mounted on the top of it.
I don't know why I crashed in the wall right there. I don't know I don't remember what I was doing. I must have been drunk or something because that was bad.
Oh, one thing I have to say about this game is if you actually want to have a game, have a build where you can consistently fire weapons without having them overheat, radiators are key.
Yes, radiators are very beneficial. But I think that's it for Crossout.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not an MMO by our standards, but Steam considers it one. But a very fun game nonetheless. And we will move right on to Witty with. Wait a minute, I'm missing one. I'm missing a page. We will
What'd
move
you forget?
right on to Witty with World of Warcraft. So let me get.
Classic.
Oh, World of Warcraft Classic, even better.
Yep. Because they actually had to redo a Warcraft Classic that actually came out. Oh, was it November of last year? I think it was.
Let's drop the quality down since we.
Is when they relaunched it. They actually had a survey earlier this year of what if people would actually replay the first expansion if they remade it, and it was an overwhelmingly positive display of people wanting to see the expansion remade so they can replay that whole experience all over again. But I still enjoy Classic more than current retail because Classic itself has more of a player-based experience because they don't have like the dungeon finder, they don't have raid finder. You actually have to go out there and look for the players yourself to join you.
Interesting.
But they still only have the original 4 races, the original 8 classes, actually 7 for each side because the Alliance side does not have shamans, the Horde side does not have paladins.
Oh, okay.
But they actually changed that when the Burning Crusades, their first expansion came out because they introduced Blood Elves for the Horde side, which made them have paladins on their side. And then they introduced Draenei on the Alliance, which introduced shamans on the Alliance side. But main player, how they actually have the classic, they didn't really have a actual full storyline to it. But when Burning Crusades came out, that's when they actually had an actual storyline to it, who the main boss is in the entire game, how you had to go up to do the progression storyline to get to that area. The only thing I'm still playing the game right now. The only thing I don't like is how long it takes to get to max level 60 in Classic, because it does take a long time to get there. It takes from 1 to 16 Classic. It takes you can actually get to max level characters on retail like 4 times by that time. But as of the video footage now, I was actually just started playing a Gnome Warlock.
I apologize for my yawn.
Which is, well, for some reason, every time I play caster, I always prefer playing the gnome character for all caster classes.
Yeah, and you got a huge helper with you too.
Oh my, he's actually known as a Void Walker. He doesn't really walk, does he?
No.
Warlock's actually weird because they first you start out with an imp, then you have your Void Walker, then you have a I forgot what the other one is. But then if you go, then you have a succubus minion. I forget what the other two were, but it'll come to me later in the game. I don't know.
Well, tell us about the game,
But-
about the gameplay, and what one could expect when trying to play it for the first time.
For the first time, all I have to say is just to take your time, because the whole part of the game is the experience itself. And your camera's out of focus.
Ah, stupid camera.
But every
Something
class.
I did want to ask you.
Hmm?
There's something I did want to ask you. You said this is classic, right?
Yeah.
I thought in the first Warcrafts they had like hold on, I might see it here in a second. No. I thought they had like dinosaurs and stuff.
That's in a different area. There's actually an area called the Ungor Crater. It's like level 50 to onward. Is the only place.
Yes.
And main place actually has dinosaurs, but I think what you're referring to, there is areas in the game that has like raptors and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's what I had seen before.
Yeah. I think the first encounter with like raptors, I believe, is in Stranglethorn Vale area, where you actually have a quest where that requires you to kill 10 raptors. No, the original game itself, when the game first came out in
That's crazy.
2004, I believe it was. They had they had nothing to do with add-ons whatsoever. You couldn't use there was no add-ons that you can use, or there's none made. You had to do everything on what the game interface gave you, even for healing, which made healing a pain in the behind when this game first came out. But the main two classes that roles that people did not like doing much in the game, even now in the current classic, is tanking and healing.
Ooh. Okay.
Because they can't be painted. Retail, classic just like retail. There's overwhelmingly amount of people that like playing just the damage rolls.
As it is with almost every MMO, as far as I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my personal experience, any new player that wants to try and actually play this, just take your time, enjoy the experience, and the community will help you out. Because classic or original Warcraft is all about the community. People actually help out other people. Retail's not the same way. Retail's like you can do it yourself.
Okay.
But unlike the other ones that we mentioned
I see
before.
I see it's got storyline to it too.
Yeah, there is quests that lead you from one place to another.
Oh, okay.
Because where remember there is actually is a starting area for gnomes and dwarfs. Actually, get those certain quests done. There's quests that lead you to the next area. Like the one I just did here is taking me to another place. The next to the main starting area for the gnomes and dwarfs. This is called Loch Blanon,
Must be an echo.
which is from level 10 onward. Yeah, I still don't have it discovered yet until I run into the area. but each area actually has different level of mobs for you to kill. If you're not careful and stumble into the wrong area, they'll come right at you because you're way too low level, which is a huge aggro pull onto you.
Really? That's weird.
And anything higher than 10 levels higher than you, it just shows a skull next to their name, not their level.
Mm. Oh, okay.
There is PvP based on here as well. I think it also starts at level, was it 10 or 15? But they do have what they call twinks, which is like people that stay at the 9 level of each one, like 19, 29, 39, 49. They just stay there and do nothing but PvP.
So that's where that
Oh
term
man.
came from. It's interesting to know because in Dark Souls 3, there's a term called a term twinks, which refers to players who stay at the lowest soul level you can and use twinkling titanite weapons to kill maximally upgraded twinkling titanite weapons to kill new players in the game.
Mm-hmm. They started using that term, I think,
Well,
believe
that
in Warcraft when I believe in a little bit after Classic started. Because there was a lot of PvP people actually did that with got all the best gear that they can for at level 19 or onward like that, just so they can one shot lower level players in that bracket.
That's rude.
yeah, that'd make me not want to play it.
I even had a
Mm.
rogue go get me from behind like rogues normally do, and actually literally one shot me.
Howdy, Sammy. Good to see you.
Hey there, Sammy. I'm late, but I'm here. But that's
What up,
pretty much all I'll have
Sammy?
to say around about here, though.
So, final thoughts on World of Warcraft Classic.
Oh, I got hit pretty hard there.
No final thoughts?
Not really. Not at the moment. For some reason, my mind just went completely
All
blank.
right, Travis, your thoughts on World of Warcraft Classic?
Classic. It's a good game. I used to have a boss man a long time ago that played it like continuously. I'm like really like a lot. He was really into
That's weird.
Warcraft, and he tried to get me into it, and I was like, nah. Like I said, I'm not part of the MMO type
That's weird. I don't know why it's
game,
doing that.
but I do know that this game right here has a lot of people that play it, and I'm pretty sure that it's a pretty good game. It's just not for me. It's not like I could. I don't think I could really play it.
As for me, I stand with you, Travis. I tried World of Warcraft a long time ago, and I'm not a huge fan of MMO or grind, so I don't think I could play WoW Classic. But it does seem like a good game, and to those of you that play it and love it, more power to you.
Hmm.
Next up, we're
One of the
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead, Witty.
another one of the reasons why I like playing it here and there is because when I do play it, I always have something playing in the background to keep myself occupied. Because if I don't, my mind wanders, and it's always hard for me to play things like that when my mind wanders. And it also
Yeah.
helps my mind just getting things out. So, and in my opinion, at times it does help me sleep. Kind of weird saying
Next
that.
up, Travis is going to talk about Neverwinter, and due to technical difficulties on his end, we are actually going to use my footage from the last time we talked about Neverwinter. But Travis is going to give his
Yeah.
a little bit more in detail and his opinion on the gameplay.
All right. Okay, for Neverwinter, it is a RPG online game developed by Cypric Cyphic.
Cryptic.
Why was I saying Sci when I know it's Cryptic? Dang. Cryptic Studios. I'm sorry. And released by Perfect World Entertainment for Microsoft in 2013, June 20th, 2013. It was released on Xbox One on March 31st in 2015 and released on PS4 for July 19th, 2016. Neverwinter is from Dungeons and Dragons. It's
Fourth
a
edition.
standalone game. Yeah, fourth. It's a standalone game and not part of the previous Neverwinter Night series. Neverwinter Nights series. Players can be one of 8 D&D characters classes and from groups of up to 5 player characters. Neverwinter was originally based on a modified version of the D&D 4th edition rule set. This includes healing powers and action points and is referred to as dailies, dailies, or something like that. Dailies,
Yeah,
dailies.
dailies.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got it right. The players perform a special ability by getting enough action points through combat. A player created content systems codename Foundry allows players to create their own story and quest, which is pretty cool for a game, an MMO game. I mean, you make up your own quest and storyline. On October 5th, 2011, they announced that the gameplay of Neverwinter would be restructured into a free to play MMORPG items and advantages available for a price. August 14th, August 2014, Tyranny of Dragons was used to bridge the narrative gap between the game and the recently released 5th edition D&D. In April 2019, all 8 classes received varying levels of balance and adjustments, and each class was renamed to with the 5th edition D&D. That's what I got of that. And the game to me for Neverwinter, it looks like a cool game. I really think that it's something that I could, even though it's an MMO uh, RPG, I think that I would go back to it and actually want to play it because it seems like it's really fun. I tried playing it on my PC, and it just
It it played
did
well
not want to
for
work.
him, but it did not stream well.
But it is, yeah, it played good for me myself. But as in the streaming, it would not work. Now, if I could have put it on my PlayStation and played it because it's free to play um, for the PlayStation as well. And as far as I know, other most of the games that we have talked about today are all free to play,
except for World of Warcraft Classic.
except for World of
You do
Warcraft.
have to have the subscription to
World of
WoW to
Warcraft,
play Classic.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and other than the other games that we have today that are also, you can pretty much find them on most systems, either PlayStation, Xbox, PC, anything.
Your final thoughts?
But my final thoughts is I want to go back in and play. Like I said, I'm not an MMO person at all, but some of the games that I played, especially War Thunder, but some of the games that I played seemed pretty interesting that I wouldn't mind going back and trying to play as of an off screen kind of thing. Though, other than War Thunder, I would stream War.
All right. Well, Witty, your thoughts on Neverwinter?
One thing I was going to mention as well, but I was waiting for Travis to get finished with what he was saying. There actually was a
Mm-hmm.
podcast called Penny Arcade that was I think it was last year or the year before, had their D&D characters introduced in Neverwinter as NPCs. They had the character of Jim Dark Magic, and they also had um Omnifus Drawn as NPCs in the game. If you actually, there's actually posters in there. If you look for certain posters around the city, it'll give you a quest to go to a certain area, which you run into another actual NPC called dang, what was her name? I know there's a druid character which was also part of the Penny Arcade TV. Each one actually had the um, uh, actual players of those D&D characters as the voices of those characters in the game.
That is cool.
But they've been doing podcasts since the beginning of fourth edition, about 10 or so years ago.
Wow,
So your thoughts?
you know a lot about D and
Yeah, he
D.
does.
I've been playing this since I was in what was it fifth or sixth grade. It was my first time playing. That was a long time ago.
So your thoughts on Neverwinter?
In my so far as in my opinion, it's the closest representation of a tabletop game turned into a video MMORPG. There's like very little things I do not like about it, but there's a lot of things I do like about it, and I still do play it here from time to time.
For me, I like Neverwinter. I did enjoy playing it. I have yet to return to it, but that's mainly because my time is consumed with other things at the moment. It is definitely a game I want to return to and one that I will return to.
Yes.
So, on
All
that note,
right. It sounds good to me. As it's your
we are
go,
going
buddy.
to go to the last game we have to talk about, and I'm going to try and get this to play properly for everyone. But the last game we have to talk about is Black Desert Online, and it is a free-to-play MMORPG, as the others are. It is across all platforms, as well as Android and iOS. It is also 2:30 my time, in case you heard that. The developer is Pearl Abyss. The publisher is, for NA and EU, the publisher is Kakao Games, and in Japan, the publisher is Pearl Abyss. The main artist, is Seo Yangsu, and it was released for Windows in 2015 in Japan and the 3rd of March 2016 in North America. And it is a full-fledged MMORPG, and I can't praise this game enough. I went into it expecting to hate it, and I had a blast playing it, and I still play it. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of different classes you can play, and each of them, I played two different classes, and they feel extremely unique. There are some duplicates. There's like a male ranger and a female. I forget what the female version is called, but I'm playing her. Maybe she's the ranger and the male is called something else. But they are essentially the same thing, just different genders. So there are duplicates of the classes, but they are of the different gender, which is completely fine in my opinion for them to have. There's I don't know how many classes there are. There's a lot. Uh, I can try and back up to character creation real quick here. I think I showed my character creation.
I like the way that that game is. You played it a
I did.
lot.
I played it for a few hours the first day, and then I played it a couple other times, and I had a lot of fun playing the game. It is a very, very good game and a very good MMO. And it kind of instilled the love for MMOs in me because I don't show the character creation. I got up to level that's right. I got up to level 14 playing on my fiance's computer while my computer was down. But I had a lot of fun playing it, and
Hmm.
I could say that for beginners to MMOs, it's a great entry game. Um, it was actually recently remastered, so the graphics are even better than they used to be, and it looks amazing. And it the only gripe I have with it is the armor doesn't change very much compared to other MMOs. So when you equip your armor, you have to look really closely and pay attention to what changes on it because not much does change. And that's unfortunate because there is with the graphics as impressive as they are in the remastered version, it'd be really beneficial to have the armor change drastically when you change it. But that it doesn't is such a small bit that it doesn't really matter. And I will return to the game, and I do still play it in my free time, um, off and on. So I don't have much else to say about that. What about you guys? You have your thoughts on the game?
It seems it seems like a game that I like. I would like it. I like the
It has
designs
a
in
good
it.
story too for
The way
you.
that the game. That's what I was thinking before because we had talked about it with each other about the storyline of it and everything. That I think it would be pretty cool to try out. And like I said, me not being an MMO kind of person, some of the games that we had over this time seems like a couple of few of the games I think I would like to actually go back and try to play it. Play it. What about you, Woody?
So I tried playing it before, but for the combat system isn't bad at all for it's something of what I'm kind of used to. But for some reason, there's part of the mechanics in the game
Mm.
which, for some reason, are confusing to me. I'm not sure why. Probably because I'm so used to playing ones like Warcraft that are completely different.
Yeah, it was a little confusing to me
Right.
too, and that's probably because the only MMO I knew of was Scarlet Blade, really, and it's vastly different from Scarlet Blade. But after a little fiddling with it, managed to figure it out, and was able to get a rhythm for how things worked, and I did figure out how the skills worked with the quick slots and things like that, so that made it easier. Um, one other regret is that it doesn't seem to be cross platform. At least what I read on it didn't say that it was. So if we were to play it together,
I don't think it
we would
was.
have to all play it on PC, and I don't know if Travis's could actually handle it.
Uh, it would be pretty cool though. I mean, I could try. I could try it.
But
It's according
we
to
are
how
in the
big it
last
is.
25 minutes of the stream, so I want to take this moment and have chat ask us any questions about the games we played, anything we didn't say that you want to know about, and
Right.
we'll go from there.
Cue the music. No I'm kidding.
Stop beating me up, little kitten. You woke her up, didn't you?
So let's see if you guys have anything that you guys would want to know or to tell us that what we may have missed.
She's purring while she beat me up.
Me, she happy.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
You know you want to put the baby
I
up to
know,
the
she's so
screen.
adorable. Her name is Kaida. For those of you that don't speak Japanese, that means little dragon. And oh my god, you're on camera! Run quickly, hop away. No, you don't. You don't want to go across.
Jump.
You just want to hop off me so you can beat me up more. Here, play with my hair. Here you go. There's my hair. No questions from the audience?
They should know how those
I
next
guess
just
not.
flips backwards.
Good on your shirt.
What games would so since you have no questions, what games would you like us to talk about next? What genre of game would you like us to talk about next? More specifically, or would you like to see us do a sort of stream where one of us talks about specific things and the other of us chime in? For instance, Witty had the idea of one of us coming up with all the topics for a stream, all the games to talk about, and then the other of us talking about our experience with them and whether or not we have played them or responding to said person.
I did have one thing I was gonna say, but I can wait to. It can probably be discussed after the stream is over.
I know one thing. The commercial that is playing right now seems like it would be a pretty cool game.
Oh, I do have one
What's
question
that?
for you guys. What do you think of Cyberpunk 2077? That's gonna be coming out
It
soon.
looks like an amazing game, and Tada wants.
Cyberpunk? It seems like it's going to be a pretty good game. I
What about Need for Speed? Since two of us play it so
would
much.
like to get it. Yeah, you guys. What about Need for Speed? Yeah.
I'm doing
You two play it a lot, so y'all
I'm
can
doing a-
chime in.
yeah. I'm doing a 1-car challenge on Need for Speed.
What are you doing, Kaida?
It's a little annoying, but it's still doable.
She's sitting on my back.
Do you think you
What
might try
else?
that? And do you think you might try that?
Probably
setup?
not. I like to buy different cars, and
But you still can after you beat the whole storyline.
I like to buy and try out different cars and stuff.
I like the Mustang that you got. Dude, look at the nose. Look at the schnoz on them thing.
The older
Huh?
games, retro,
The
like
schnoz. No, this game
no,
here.
I'm,
Look
I'm
at
responding to Sammy.
the nose on that dude.
I'm sorry, I'm responding to Sammy.
That's one of the games That's one of the games I was talking about before. Warcraft Classic was a remake of the original game that came out in 2004.
We could talk about older games
If
for a stream.
The older.
if I actually had a
Are you
capture
talking
card,
about like the arcade kind of games, or like Mario Brothers, or
yeah,
well,
I was gonna say,
we talked about Zelda the
Yeah,
time.
we did talk about Zelda the last time. So
if I had a capture card, I can actually do some gameplay footage from my old the Nintendo Classic console little console thing I have that actually has a lot of games from the 1980s.
Specify what older games you might be talking about. The older games that have come back. What older games have came back? Do you know, Tada?
if she's talking about
I've never
remakes
heard
or
of it.
remasters, um,
Well, yeah. I mean, like what?
Final
You know,
Fantasy
like
VII.
what? Final Fantasy.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, Final Fantasy
Oh,
Seven.
any older games, just older.
Any any older game. Okay.
It's gonna be harder to get footage of
I
those
so
games.
You're talking about for.
I still
Yeah, that would
enjoyed
be
the
hard to
original
get footage
7
for.
than the remake.
But it's not like we can't like do research on
And
older
I could
games
probably
and
get footage
like
of any game, so it's not like it's impossible. We could do that for the next stream, older games, and if for the next podcast.
Well, I could do a really old PC game.
well, Sammy, what older game would you like to know about? Or I know you say any older game, just pick some specific games that maybe you might want to hear about, or any of you guys might want to hear about. Because I mean, like Galaga, Centipede, Frogger,
You make me want to get the Atari
Mario
2600 console again.
Dude,
Sonic the
there was
Hedgehog,
really fun
yes.
games. Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, that's a Sega game. There.
That's all mine.
Yep.
You guys ain't touching that one. That one's mine.
Which
I'll
one?
1 and 2.
Dude. I have the new Sonic.
Already did Zelda.
We could do a different Zelda though.
What is that
the
new
second
Sonic
one,
game that came out on?
A Link to the Past, or Link's Awakening. I mean,
There was a new. There's a new Sonic game that they gave us for PlayStation.
petting you, you little tinker butt. Stop attacking me.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. Okay.
Oh, here's a little bit of trivia for you. Did you know that the Super Mario Brothers was not the first Mario
No.
Brothers game?
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
They actually had a game called Mario Brothers.
Well, I know regular Mario Brothers is
That-
on the Nintendo.
Yep, that was the first one before they actually did Super Mario Brothers.
Sorry, playing with the kitten. So you're talking about old games like pre-PlayStation 1. Pre-disc.
Yeah, you're talking
games,
about.
We'll say. That sounds good, right? Pre-disc
Yeah.
games podcast. The PDP. PDGP. Pre-disc game podcast. We could do that. That's good. Now, one final question
Yeah.
to end the stream. Next week,
Does this count?
next week we are going to play a game together. What game would you guys like to see us play? You little evil dragon of doom.
Shh. We
King
don't have
of
Street
Doom.
Fighter.
Mario was.
Yes,
Donkey
Mario was
Kong
first in Donkey Kong.
Yes, Mario Bros. Was an arcade game.
Ah, look at her.
Street Fighter?
She was just hanging off my arm like a tree limb.
How's it going, button?
Dead by Daylight. That's a different. We can't play Dead by Daylight together.
No, that's.
The game choices
I
are.
can't. It's not
Let go of
cross-platform.
my hand. Are Conan Exiles. You little turd.
Never heard of that game.
Neverwinter.
Neverwinter's not cross.
Yeah, but Travis can play it on his PC. And
I can play it, but I can't stream
those are
it.
the choices: Conan Exiles, War Thunder, or Neverwinter. Or Warframe.
Need to make a
There,
poll.
those are the choices.
Need to make
I don't
a
know how.
poll.
You turd.
You don't have the creator dashboard up. You can do it from there.
I choose YouTube. Semi says War Thunder. Come on, you guys. We need you guys to put them out there. Streamlabs should have a poll thingy.
I'm not using Streamlabs button. I'm using OBS.
Yeah, we're using OBS.
So one for War Thunder, one for Conan.
Or
How do I do this now?
Conan, so I can play.
That is 2 for Conan, 1 for War Thunder. Because I don't know how to work this stuff, so. Look, I'll figure it out for the next one, I promise. Poll closes in 1 minute. Get your burger, Gerber, Gerber, Gerber.
says do the thing. He said straw poll is easy. Do the thing and post the link it gives you.
I don't know why, but the memory of when I was playing that Postal game, the exact same time an earthquake hit where I was at. That was a fun experience.
Title. Game.
Dude, was you living in California?
To
No.
play
No.
together. Description. No. Options.
I live in southern Idaho, which the earthquake was like what 80 miles north of Boise, and the earthquake is
Mm-hmm.
the most powerful earthquake that Idaho has had in the past 20 years. No, 30 years. They felt it in northern Montana.
Boop. There you go. Straw poll.
Button said, what?
Everyone, click that link and go vote on the poll, and I will pull the tally at 2:53 my time. So you have 2 minutes of just watching us sit here and dance. Everybody dance. Hey, that's my happy dance. You can't steal it.
Do the happy dance.
I have ears. See?
Witty, do your eye dance.
Huh? No, thank you.
Sammy says she did it.
Boop, 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 boop.
I actually had a customer at work, my work the other day said too cold to hold. It was like, dang it, that reminds me of the Ghostbusters song.
Poll said I already voted.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Too hot to handle, too cold to cold. Call the Ghostbusters in control.
Do 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 do. I did a dance. I was dancing. Everyone missed it. I don't dance.
Yeah, we did it. Oh, you must have went somewhere. You must have did the poll.
I'm not doing my
And
happy
they can
dance
see
because
that.
cap up. It is 2:53. Time to pull the results. Here we go. And everyone
It's gonna have
voted
three
for
different
Conan.
things in it.
100% Conan.
Conan.
All right. Well, then, that is going to do it for us today. Say goodbye, fellas.
Sammy says do it again. Just looked
Too
away.
late. Stream ending. Thank you for watching.
Yay, it can play.
We gonna get into some shenanigans, and I'm gonna get them
Alright,
killed. It is gonna be a blast. You guys voted for the right game. We all gonna die.
The only thing we need now is an actual intro, it's song intro, and an ending song intro. I mean, exit intro, or whatever we want to call it.
My only problem with Conan though is gonna be it's gonna be laggy for me. So you guys are gonna have to understand. Love you all.
Love you guys. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure having everybody. Peace out.
Peace.
Nah. Nah, not kidding. Adios.